Yes. Welcome everyone here again in this last and final day of Campus Party Digital, the Netherlands. We're here with Dorine van der Wijk, a good friend of mine who I met in a campfire session actually. That was a great festival that we were at. But since then we have been involved both in business and in working out something completely new. First, she was founding partner of Directeuren Network the Netherlands. She decided to quit and sell the business, and then she decided to start something completely new, and that created actually this narrative for a new story. So I'm here to announce Dorine van der Wijk to tell you all about it and the new wealth economy, and hope you all enjoy.
Thank you, Nick. It was such a lovely fiesta where we met each other, and now we are here today at a new fiesta, the Global Campus Party. And for me personally, it's an extra fiesta because you gave me the stage to launch my new thing. I'm going to tell you all about the research later. First, I want to take you to a little personal memory and a personal story. I recently found this memory book again while I was cleaning my house. And this memory book, I got this when I was 6. And people wrote you little wishes they wished you. And I want to share 2 of these beautiful poems with you. So the first one is, Dear daughter, the most beautiful thing you can get in life is no money or abundance, but a loyal and friendly heart and a sunny, a happy state of mind. Lieve Dorine, is dear Dorine, when you have both, even though it's just a little, then you have in your further life father's pride and mother's treasure. So this is a poem my father wrote. I inherited, I'm not sure if you can see it, his beautiful handwriting. I inherit also other beautiful stuff. And the next poem I want to share is from my mother. I didn't inherit her beautiful handwriting and creativity. So what she wrote down for me is, Lieve Dorine, dear Dorine, be friends with little things, with a little flower that blossoms, with a bird that chirps, and a butterfly that flutters, with the clear raindrops and with the happy sunshine. Be friends with little things and you will be happy, your mother. So 30 years later, after this wisdom reaches me again, I finally could receive the words. And this is for me true wealth. The meaning of the words and also the people who wrote this to me. And maybe you recognize what I'm going to say now. I wish that these 2 lessons were the lessons I remembered of my school education. So this is, this is for me true wealth, and you can ask me later more in detail. Before I want to go to the next thing, I'm really curious where everyone is coming from. So Nick is hosting the chat. So please feel welcome to join this campus party now. You are joining, but feel free to let me know where you check in, say hi, and then I will continue my story and tell a little bit more about myself. So when I got this beautiful poem, I was entering also my school career, and that's where my own programming started. This is where my programming started about what I know now today about society and what we know now about the definition of wealth. And later in life, I had to find out the hard way that this was not the recipe for myself for success. And I want to give you a little bit of context what this programming life did bring me, because it did bring me also beautiful things. Before my 25th birthday, I became a director. Before my 30th birthday, I founded and owned a company. And before my 35th birthday, I sold my company. So that's a great checklist. I'm also proud of it, but it came at a price. And listen to the price it came with. I'm going back to my 25th birthday. I had my first depression. My 30th birthday, I had my first burnout. And my 35th birthday, I had my second burnout. So it came with a price. But it came with a good price, because my first burnout gave me the gift of personal development. And that's where I really started to reboot my own system. I stripped down, unlayered all the conditioning I got in my previous life. I call it also previous life. I understand my own code now. I did rewrite my programming, and I reboot myself. So this is a little context about programming and my own programming. The second thing I want to share about myself, to give context of today, is one of my biggest passions, which is there for all of my life already. And that's observing people. First, at a young age, I don't think I did love, honestly, observing people. It was for me a survival mode. So to give context how I grew up, my parents owned a bar. Therefore, I lived in a community with big groups. So imagine 15 children that were your daily household. As you probably also know, that children are, of course, goody, sweet, but also they can be really mean with each other. So it served me very well when I observed their behavior, when I understand what they needed in order to fulfill my own needs. Let's be honest, it was my survival mode. I was pretty good at it. I can tell lots of stories about this period of time, but then I need another hour. So I want to fast forward to later in my work, and especially in my last role in directeurennetwerk, which also in English is better, directors network. This observing people, this hobby of mine, gave me a lot. It gave me a lot of knowledge. It gave me a lot of wisdom. And that are two things, in my opinion. It gave me a lot of experiences. I remember that before I founded Directors Network, I was like debating, would I do another study, maybe MBA. I'm really happy that I didn't do it, because I got the opportunity to interview thousands of people. And that's the best knowledge in an MBA I could get. So this gift of having this interview opportunity and moderating all of these events really pleased my hobby at that time of observing people and understanding. So fast forward to when I left my last job. I made a choice to step full-time into research mode. I call it people detective. And the first objective of my research, you're looking at my first objective, that was me. My first data point was myself. I gained a lot of information, also about myself, but also at that time, I was looking at my surroundings, because I already dig deep in who I was. You always continue that journey, by the way. So I started challenging everything in my life. Why do I pay for this? Why do I get this? Why is this system the way the system is? Basically, observe, challenge, and that's the loop I was walking in. I also found my own definition of true wealth. And I think the most beautiful gift where I am today is that I now understand how I can live out of my own definition of wealth, rather than driven by an external given definition, which gained me back to my checklist great success, if you look at that point. So an important thing I want to share with you now, and I think this is my most important insight I gained over the last couple of years, especially this is true for me. And this is the following thing. I strongly believe that when we do better for ourselves, we do better for the world. So that questions me, that brings me to a lot of questions. So let me take you on a journey of a couple of questions. Like, how can we create an environment where people can be their true self? How can we be more, how can we bring more harmony in doing and being? How can we change this system of measures and checklists and running and doing? If this is a key to a better world. But at the same time, our programming kicks in. And even also with me, like, how do we make money about being? Like, how are we gonna like try success then? So I think that's what, well, not I think, I know that for sure, brings me also to today's essence. Today's essence of launching this research. And what we do there? I want to share you this sentence. I can see I'm distracted by Nick typing. Sorry, now Nick, I've lost my plot now. So here it comes, today's essence. Enriching the definition of being rich. And when we do that, when we do this, we believe that we can create a worldwide wealth. And Scully, I did see you popping in somewhere, so thank you for this word. Yeah, thank you. So WWW, I think that's, not sorry, I think I need to stop saying that. That's the essence. So what we will do in the next 15 minutes is I will give you a little bit of insights about the context of the research, of what is wealth and how does it define our society. I'm gonna share, of course, how you're gonna be a part of this, and I want to learn from you. So let me jump into the context before I take. I'm gonna read something to you because I don't want to make mistakes. I need to quote something. So let me take you to the Wikipedia definition of wealth. Wealth is the abundance of valuable financial assets or physical possessions, which can be converted into a form that can be used for transactions. So let this soak in for a minute. And now listen to my observation. This definition is what I think is the source of the three following things. Probably more, but I'm going to name three. The first thing, success of today is equivalent of material, money, and a flowing career. The second thing, most of our institutions are driven by measurements which we can hit the checklist in, like, can we measure it to this definition? And the third is transactional thinking, because the last part can be used for our transactions. It assumes that we need a transaction for what we get. So can you see the connections? I call this system a system of human doings. And probably you will recognize what I'm going to say now. At a young age, we are programmed to be human doings in order to become rich, achieve this top result, do this, have this, be that. That's like early programming. And the result I see of this is, indeed, it created a system where we are perfect human beings who are able to walk in the big world industry we call the economy. And especially here in the Western world, it made us richer than ever. So yes, it worked. And listen, also, it came with a price. You probably have someone in your surrounding who has a burnout, a depression, obesity, an addiction. Obesity, sorry, that's a Dutch word. Also, you probably recognize that we are not so great at sustainability. We are not so great at sustainable planets. And the third, which is for me one of my biggest triggers, we're still not able to eliminate poverty and hunger. So, are you aware what this is called? I see this as disharmony, disbalance, disconnections. And what I just explained, a society program of human doings with no natural space for being, I think that this programming is the reason for our research. This is why we want to go to the source. This is why we want to understand what is wealth, what is being rich, what is the definition of success, and how is everything connected. Let me tell you a story for an example and why this is important for me. My sister was a director of a primary school, and she had a great vision, personalized education. What was central? Who am I? How do I love myself? How do I navigate in this everyday changing life? Honestly, questions I wish that I was learning on school. It was a success. Happy, flowing children. It was like great. And now it came with a price. The system was not ready for her vision, because how does she get money? She needed to deliver checks. The children had to do all of their exams, and that was how she got funding. So this is like what I see as a connection, and maybe you see it also. Like she has a great vision, but the system didn't support it and was blocking it from flowing as a success. And honestly, this always made me so mad and frustrated, and it's my personal reason to do what I'm doing now. When I left the corporate matrix, people asked me, so what are you going to do? And I said, like, no clue. I'm going to go on a journey. But I know one thing. I would be, then I already die happy, but I would be dying happy if people could write on my tombstone, she contributed to changing education system. And with this research, this is my way of contributing. So, dear people, you really can forget everything I just said or what I'm going to say today. But I want that you remember one thing. My hope and belief is that we can achieve that world of worldwide wealth. Enrich our definition of being rich. So, I cannot see Nick, but I want to learn now from you. Hey, Nick. So can you ask the questions? Like what? I have two questions for the crowd.
Yeah.
The first question is, what's your definition of being rich? And the second one is, where did you learn your definition of wealth? Was it at school? Was it at family? Was it, I don't know, somewhere?
Mm-hmm. You want to hear from me or from the audience?
From the audience.
From the audience. That's great. I'm really curious to hear all of them. So what is your definition of being rich? Please reply in a comment. And there's one. So, there's a question regarding you, Dorine. Being financially secure, I imagine, allowed you to venture on this journey. Mazar Valje from, I think, Karachi. Is it correct?
That's a great question. People always assume that I financially secure, and I can tell you that's not the case. It's a conscious choice. I made a great investment, and I'm living up to my savings today. And I have hope that this will be the thing I needed to do, and I will be founded with what I need. So it was not. No, so I think that answered the question. But if not, please ask me later.
Yeah. So we're really curious to all the listeners. We have 16 right now to reply with what your definition is of being rich. It's a hard question, I think. So take a minute to answer it, and there's no wrong answer. So we don't
No.
judge you here. So feel free to comment. We won't be sharing it to anyone in the world. Well, we are live streaming, so there we
You
are.
can also. It's like an sorry.
There's
It's input. One of the input questions for our research, so that's why I'm asking it.
Okay, so everyone will be part of the journey towards a new wealth system. So please feel free to share. Being able to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want, by Scully.
Freedom. I call that freedom. That's great.
And there's another one.
Oh, I can read it. Oh, great.
I
needed new items.
Yeah, I will write. I will read them for you. You need to acquire access to resources like health care and education.
Nice.
That's great. Huh? So with
That's
health
great.
care and education, you get to like a new level, like maybe like Scully said, to having more freedom to discover or to plan your own life, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a great, and it's an interesting because that's not in the Wikipedia definition of wealth and being rich.
So this one from Miriam: rich, happiness, health, love. What you do, have loved ones around, and making a difference through what you do besides financial stability.
Great.
That's a long, great, thoughtful answer. Thank you, Miriam.
Wow, thank you, Miriam. That's really beautiful. That's a beautiful one. That's great input. You see, this is why I love this research already. I'm gonna like gain so much beautiful insight of all of you. So
because it's a really hard question, isn't it?
It is a hard question. So I know. Just like a sneak peek of the question. So Nick, like, what's the time? 24. Okay, I will like in the last 5 minutes share with you guys. How can you be?
Susanna is sharing hers, being healthy and happy with family and others, loved ones. Go ahead.
Beautiful. Keep coming them up. I will acknowledge them and read them. On what phase of life we are at. That's a great, like, that's one of the inputs we want to take with us, Mazar, if I can pronounce it right. It's like what defines those things. So these are all the questions we want to get great understanding with. So you are giving me great input. Thank you already. I really love what you guys are doing. So this is going to be great. So let me continue how you can like be a part of it. So what you are doing right now is already being a part of it. You are giving the great questions because I really believe that me and with the people who are running this, we thought that we only see our own perspective. And as many people of you know, is that I love being interconnected with all different kinds of backgrounds and where people come from. And you see it already, like it's such a diverse group. So in this research, if we want to enrich the definition of being rich, then we believe that it's a joint, we have to tune into the collective. So it's about you, it's about me, and it's about we. So it's a collective research. And you can be what you're doing, giving me great questions. You can talk with us. You can share your insights. And I think the most fun part is being a participant of our playground. And I want to share you a little bit more about the first playground we have set up. So people, close your eyes and imagine what we're going to do here. Imagine yourself in a safe place with at least 100 other brilliant people like yourself. And in this playground, we challenge our mindset on what we want and need and how we get things. You have unlimited opportunities to share your wishes and to help other people with their wishes, their needs, by giving your gifts. Together we grow and flow, and things you normally pay for, you now have access to. Just because in this playground, we change the rules of how we get things. We change the rules of transactional mindsets. So, Nick, you can now open your eyes, and other people also. This adventure with these beautiful people in this beautiful group is a 90-day adventure. We will meet online, and researchers will facilitate and help you to get to your wish. You can put as many wishes as you want, and we will facilitate check-ins. And it's a playground. You almost forget that it's also having a research, how do you say that? Objective, where we actually learn from your behavior. That's what we're doing. We observing and create understanding by what your input is. We ask for feedback, interviews, and surveys. And what is the name of this playground? The name of this playground is the Wish and Gift Ecology. And it's an ecology where we are all equal. It's an ecology where we thrive together. And it's an ecology where we are all interconnected also. And I am super excited about this. I'm practicing this for a long time for myself. And now we're gonna use this playground as our research. And for the people who know me, I always think in win-win-win situations. So what's the win for you? You have access to a group of beautiful people where you can grow for yourself and together. You are helping us with the research, an important research, and together we reboot the world. And that's the theme of what we are doing here today. So I say, who's in? Welcome.
Yeah, I'm definitely in. I have some extra time for you, Dorine, because you have more questions. And we have time until 12 when the next session is starting about Planet Pilot, Project 2.
Yeah, I have another 30 minutes. Great.
Yeah, you have another 30 minutes if you want.
Oh, okay. Okay, but let's ask the crowd what they want to know, because
Yeah, so there's still like a lot of comments coming in, and I think they're all great. I'm blushing, and I feel it shakes all over my body when I read them. Like, whoa, this is so beautiful. People are writing really interesting stuff over here, like emotional stuff that gets your heart right from the start. You start reading it.
Can I read them back later? Yes, I can, of course, rewatch this because
yeah,
great. Because I, of course, missed. I can like see it a little bit, but thank you much. I love the concept.
Like this one
to be able to make a difference. Nice. Debbie, I hope you're in. Please feel free.
And this one from Galia as well. Like having a grandfather and grandmother telling you this on such a young age, like 7 years old. Is that correct? 7 years old?
Yeah.
Powerful, really powerful. And that makes so much sense to have this as a cornerstone of your life.
It is beautiful. And I think that's honestly like what I did also the last year is talk a lot with my grandmother, and probably people, especially of our age, Nick, and maybe younger, especially here. Sorry, this is also a culture thing I'm really aware of. Is going to your grandparents is just like, okay, I'm earning my like bonus point for my grandparents, and I never really had a conversation. But the last year, I really invested to have conversations, and like actually the research question on what is wealth that came out of a beautiful conversation with my grandmother when she was like sharing that money in her life and she was poor. never was a thing she was looking for what making her happy. She was getting her satisfaction about connections with people. So I was like, such a beautiful insight. I was like, wow, thank you, grandmother. I was like, thank you, Oma, for this beautiful.
Thank you.
Um,
So it's
yeah.
a nice reply from Carolyn. She says, it seems clear to me that most of us don't define wealth as possessions, but I think we live in a society that does. How can we change that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Who has the answer?
Yeah, and people are answering. So here Mears is answering with, it's a really hardwired concept endorsed by society and family.
Yeah, and I think thank you for that comment. How do I pronounce that? Mine's sorry, it's already gone. But
Mears. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Is it Mears? Do I say it correctly, Mears?
so that's her question. What she just asked. That it's so like indoctrinated in our system.
Mhm.
That's the reason why we want to go to that source and want to understand that created understanding, like what is making that we have this definition. And I can share what my personal insight is for me and what I use as a context of what is wealth for me. I believe that it's not only that part what Wikipedia is sharing. It is a part. It is definitely a part, but it's also emotional wealth. It's also physical wealth, and physical is like my body, but also like my house, my like how do I pay for my needs, or how do I get my needs better. And it's also a soul thing. And what I learned is that all of those four elements are interconnected with each other. And I think maybe people recognize this. Like I had for the longest period in my career, I had like success in the definition of Wikipedia. But I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel successful, maybe successful from an external perspective, but not from an internal perspective. I was like not fully happy. I was like, now, you know me, by the way, like you like recently gave back to me, like when we entered, where we had earlier this year an event. We said like, wow, you changed so much. Like you're like the tough, like
Yeah,
doing, and
a big change. Yeah. So I couldn't emotionally connect with you back in the days when you were a director at the
sorry.
Directeur Network, Directors Network, the Netherlands. It
Yeah.
was like a company with 300 companies in it, like a network society of 300 company CEOs. And I couldn't emotionally connect with you because you were so driven to work, and I couldn't really find identity back in the days. But now it has completely changed. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have been on a journey of 1 year, 1.5 year, I think.
Yeah, it's a lifetime journey, honestly.
Yeah,
But the heart, like I did a lot for her last year. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's completely different now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm more and more happy to be surrounded with you because you are triggering me to rethink my realities as well now, and that's you become a very interesting person to be surrounded with because you will ask interesting questions. And I think that's if you're not answering or asking any questions anymore in life, I think you're just like a machine, like in a production
Yeah, it's
factory.
like the human doing machine. Like
Yeah.
it's just the programming, which is what taught us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a real change that I saw in you, and I hope I do. I don't downgrade you anyway because I really admire what you're doing and which path you're following now as well, and back in the days as well. But it was totally different.
True. I think what Maris is saying now is such a beautiful, I think, spot on. And also, probably thank you for sharing this. The reason why we are doing this now, because in lockdown we became more aware of what we created, and I think this is also now the time to redefine that definition and really go to the core, like from enrich to enriching. So yeah, that I said right. Yeah,
Yeah. So let
Caroline.
me read
Yeah,
that.
you. Yeah.
Carolyn Smith is saying, I really think to break free, we have to be revolutionary. What can I give you and what that you need? What can you give me? If we work on a wish and gift system as much as possible, we help change. That's a great one. And then she
Thank
adds
you,
up,
Caroline.
emotional wealth is such a beautiful concept, but it requires our physical needs to be me first, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting concept. Like, it's referring to the Maslow pyramid, and I think like even that is a man-made.
It needs to be met first, not me first. It needs to be
Sorry,
met first, I think.
no, met first. I can think she's like, we have to fulfill some needs first. And I have this question. Caroline is one of my beloved board members, and we have these conversations a lot. Like, yeah, it's because I saw also something in the comment of like, you can do this because you're financially secure, and we always debate on what do you need in order to get this thing, emotional wealth. And I also think that the man-made construct of the programming is defining a one-size-fits-all definition. And I think the beauty is to find your definition, because the definition of my wealth is not your wealth, and it's also different than Caroline's and different than the people who are commenting. So the beauty, what I dream of is, can we create a society where we can live our own definition of true wealth and not be judgmental if you don't hit the check boxes which we are needed to hit now. And I think that's the foundation for more peace. That's honestly what I believe.
Yeah. So also to elaborate on like what variables do we need, like age, time in life.
Yeah, and these are all the interesting things to discover in the research. What are the variables? What is connections? What are all those elements?
Yeah, taking care of someone, like having a child, is already a new phase where different things become more important to you.
Yeah. So, are there any more questions then, if we are having the time to answer them?
Yeah. So maybe while people are thinking of a great question,
Yeah.
I'm going to showcase them a video of such nice beauty of our world in two different contexts. So one is an adventurous context, and the other is the work-life context that we live in. So I'm going to show you two clips of like 15, 20 seconds.
Cool.
I think they will let you think faster on this topic. There we go. That's the first one. There comes the next. So the second one I feel so much connected to, like the individual expression, and the first one is like the work life that we have now. In some situations, like in a very rich society, you have these beautiful co-working spaces, and you can bike to your work in these big buildings everywhere, and the water is just reflecting the lights on the glass of the building. I think they are parts of life, or both in the same life in a different situation, like your hobby and your work. I'm really curious if that's also an addition to your wealth system. I'm young, 28. I'm really triggered to that adventurous life. Maybe if you're like 45, having kids, having that stability of having a house, doesn't really need to go on holidays anymore, because you're already happy with everyone being healthy. Yeah, that's dimensions that I'm thinking of right now.
No, it's. I think it's coming from we are trying to create a one-size-fits-all society. And that's not possible. We are living with different generations in different backgrounds with different age groups. So we cannot do a one-size-fits-all. And I would really love that we create a world where we can freely explore our own definition and have the space for that. And of course, like in the things we need to do, I understand that. So yeah.
Yeah, there are some great comments coming in. So I think the video worked. The videos worked. So Caroline is saying, a key learning for me from the pandemic is that you only need to know what is right for you.
Nice. I will do an applause on that one.
Applause like this.
Yeah.
Mazar is saying, for me to come to the up with the best answer, I will imagine I have only some weeks to live and then reassess what is true well.
Wow.
Like knowing the end. Like
Mazar, I hope you want to be a part of our research. Be a researcher with us, Mike.
With that question, Mazar, I had that as a title of my first TED Talk. Like, if tomorrow was your last day, what would you be doing today? So
beautiful.
I try to get out of my comfort zone every day. Since I asked myself that question, like that's really what I have to think of, right? What is my worth if I won't be there tomorrow anymore?
Yeah.
Very nice, Mazar. And there's more coming in. So Debbie is saying, absolutely. It's so interesting how we have been programmed by society. How do you teach someone to be their own authentic self? This would need to start at the grassroots level, right?
Yeah, Debbie, that's exactly what I was. I'm not sure. I cannot see if you were the whole time, but that's what I was referring to with the example of what I shared with my sister was doing. She was actually trying, and she did it also. Yeah. They did, of course, in the primary education, and the system was blocking that at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe that when we create understanding on a higher, not on a higher level, with more people, that we can force the system to change into that grassroots, really make the change in the grassroots level. So. Yeah.
So Gadi has a great question here. Can wish and gift ecology meet our basic needs? And then reply to Galia, how do we know if we don't try?
I was just, Caroline can probably read my mind then, because that's what I said, like, let's try it. Let's see it. I think that's a great research question.
There's so much coming in. So
help us to create this understanding.
Yeah, so I'm just going to read them very fastly, but I want to invite someone to the studio, actually. So I want to see a face in here. Who wants to be that person that wants to go in the studio and ask the question in person? Or your answer. So
nice.
I'm going to share a link in the live chat that you can enter. And
I cannot see the live comment, Joe. That's why I'm not like, I was like, why do you all see this?
Yeah, it's a lot. So I put a link in the live chat. If you click on it, you'll be coming backstage on the studio, and I will put you on stage if you want to.
Nick, can I see the comments later also, or is it gone if we are?
Well, the live chat disappears, so I have to show them on the screen, so it will be recording. So I'm just trying to give every comment like a few seconds to for people to read them.
Oh, I love this one of Scully. Oh, Lynn, sorry.
Scully, yeah.
Yeah, it's her.
It's Scully, huh?
Yeah, so who's
who's willing to join? Just click on the link, accept your camera and your microphone. Okay. You'll be backstage. So if you want to join the studio over here with us, we can create a nice, cozy, informal environment where we have 6 spots. So we really have 4 extra spots for people that want to join to be coming here into the studio with us.
I'm getting closer so that I can read. Best leadership should create a framework. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. It's beautiful.
There's a lot of great compliments. Everyone is complimenting each other. I think that's part of the gift and wish society. Yeah, like that we
wish ecology.
Yeah, ecology. Sorry.
No problem. I help you.
And that we are not in our ego to not compliment others, and then override them with our thinking of reality, of our thinking of wealth. So it's great that people add on to this story here.
So, do you have someone on the hot seat?
Not yet, not yet. Feel free to try out the link. So there are great comments coming in. If you want to join the studio, you can do it with this link. Please click on that link. If you are on YouTube or whatever source you're watching from, please click on it. We have another around 5 minutes. Then I have to wrap it up for the next session starting at noon here at CEST, Central European Summertime. So if you want to join, feel free. You have the spotlight here. So if you are not scared to take the stage, you're welcome to join us.
We don't bite. The revolution will be beautiful. I love this all revolution people.
Here, Scully, welcome to the show.
I'm braving it up.
There you go.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Everyone was like, "Oh, I don't have to wear makeup for this, like for this event. I just can be in my pajamas listening." I get it. That's why people are like, "No."
Yeah, she commented this first. I'm not showered yet. You're okay. You're looking great. Welcome to the show. Do you want to say something, Scully? No?
I wanted to actually see how the technology worked, so that's why I came up.
It's very easy. You don't have to comment anything. So this is what we use. Yeah. Camera on, off, microphone on and off. You want to be out? Just tell us so I can. Yeah. Oh, she doesn't want it to be in here. Okay.
So Nick, then I will just leave it to you. You can ask one more question, and then we will just wrap it up. So what's your burning question now?
What's my burning question?
Do you have one?
Well, I'm a guy that gives and offers people a stage to present their story, like on this Campus Party event, on Future Flux Festival, and other events that I organize. And I'm taking the stage myself as well, because it has been a change in my life. So my burning question is, if someone wants to share one sentence that defines their wealth here on stage, I would be really happy to give that person the stage and then wrap up the session after it. So if you want to share your wealth system, if you want to share like your slogan for life, please take the stage, because I'm really happy when people are daring to take that stage, because it has meant a lot to me. It changed my life, and I really want people to take it, especially if you've never done it before.
So feel free to welcome, and in order while we wait, so for people, how you can be a participant, Nick shared a link. Maybe you can share the link of the website, Nick, where people can let them know that they want to be a part of it. Actually, you can always leave your comments, like sign up as a researcher, share your questions. And the playground I was talking about, the wish and gift ecology, will start next week officially. Of course, we started already, but then the 90 days will start. So this week we will collect all the participants. So when you want to be a participant, just sign up there and go to that website. So that's a practical guidance to be a part. And I see all of your comments, so I can always hunt you down as a people detective. I will know how to find you.
So there is a website for the wish and gift playground, you said. So I really want to make a banner of that. So can you repeat how we can find that website? Where?
Wishandgift.org.
Wishandgift.org.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go. This one?
This one, indeed.
Great. So head to the website and become part of the playground.
Yeah.
It's a 90 days journey, you said?
Yeah.
90 days of researching together what the wealth system of our future ecology should be.
Yeah, it's a 90 days journey. So it's in that sense, we are together as that collective for 90 days. You do, of course, your own thing in life. So you don't have to be 90 days in that playground, but it's something which is add on into your life. So,
yeah, Caroline, that's okay. Yeah, you don't have to. I'm just guy that is pushing people on stage,
yeah.
and really it helped a lot of people. So I'm always happy when they do. But it's you have to be okay with it. So it was scary as hell for me with stage fear back in the days as well.
So Nick, do just one banner from rich to enrich, and that's the one thing people need to remember. Besides, that's not even a website. They need to remember one thing: from rich to enrich, and then sorry. And then I would love to thank all the beautiful comments, and I'm actually looking forward to really read them. So I'm gonna re-watch the show just to read all of your comments, and but I'm gonna thank you in person here on the spot. Thank you for for your great questions, and this is exactly what we envisioned, to have a collective research to like grow together and find the puzzle pieces together. So thank you all, and lots of love for you also, Nick, and have a great, Saturday here, and sun is coming out, so I'm gonna enjoy this beautiful day, and thank you for the opportunity to share and launch this beautiful research.
Yeah, feel free to join any of the other sessions today. We have Edward Sonen on the main stage at 2 o'clock, 2 to 3. You'll be interviewed by a lot of journalists from all over the world. I'm curious what he's going to answer. But also feel free to join our next session starting in 5 minutes at Planet Pilot. It's a new initiative for changing education for our kids, creating that dangerous context that I will show you right now. Stay tuned for the next one, and thanks Dorine for being here with us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.